What's up, Beratnas? Season 2, Episode 1. I'm horny. Uh there's two things that I forgot. One thing I forgot, one thing I'm not sure about. So there's Ade. I gotta tell you something, and she blows up. Right? It's the blonde chick. She has her little thing, and then the other thing is that Black Ops team that went to Tycho Station. So maybe it's clarified here. But if it's not, then I feel as if I lost the thread somewhere. I thought there was a ship heading to Tycho. Oh man, our thrusters are out. Can we dock here? Teehee. And then Tycho's doing his thing, or Fred is doing his thing. And then on Eros, the spy is like, oh, to the Black Ops team, let's go. And the way I'm thinking about it, they're two separate teams. But not sure. I feel like I may have lost the thread if they're the same team and the Tycho Station team did something off screen. But I don't know. We also didn't see anything from Fred Johnson in the last episode. He did his little speech in the penultimate one. So it's possible literally as soon as I hit play, they're like, hey, we're about to dock on Tycho. And then that's clarified. But I think that's it. Just those two things. I'm expecting season 2 to be better. So I think people are in the pocket now, and then you also get buoyed from the writing and the groundwork and all the stuff that you did. And they also set up a lot of very interesting plot threads that you can just boom right out the gate. You got to imagine just new characters and stuff along the way, but they got some really nice setups that you can just hit the ground running without having to establish as much as you did in the first one. So let's go. Let's get into it. I gotta stop hitting the table or the camera's gonna shake. Mother of God! It was a little loud. Okay. MMC. Okay, these are... I mean, how strong is this armor? Yeah, okay. Okay, Iron Man. Okay. And they're not actually showing what they're shooting at. I mean... I mean, you got really erratic and specific camera angles to not show what they're shooting at. I mean, maybe this is some Star Trek simulation, but... Okay, they're... Okay, alright, they're not... Alright, that makes sense. Camouflage like gun emplacements, alright. Woo! Second MMC Expeditionary Unit. These things look badass. She's doing the Iron Man Patriot thing.
Rumor is you're heading to Phoebe Station, so say your goodbyes and kiss your mommies. It's gonna be a long trip.
Okay. Okay.
Don't worry.
That's kind of the same thing as Julie, right? A very rich family. You'd have to imagine an extremely rich family wouldn't want their daughter to be in this fighting force or task force or special ops or whatever exactly this is. So it's kind of analogous to Julie in a way. You can hear the whirring of the electronics. That's nice. Mariner Valley plus 100 years simulation. Dude, so when this goes off, oh, right, okay, paused it just a second too early. Dirty boy. That was pretty sick. That was pretty sick. Her walking off screen, introducing the black, the Expanse. That's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Intro's different now. Tycho and those 4 people get added to it. And people, just to catch everybody, a lot of people in the comments are saying Holden was genetically engineered on Earth from those 8 families. I don't inherently think, sorry, inherently is not the wrong word. I don't think him genetically being engineered is really the important part, because they didn't seem like apex humans. They seemed like we're just a bunch of farmers, and we're trying to, if we create this, then that ties us together to own this plot of land, whatever. So I don't know if he had like, I don't know if he's some sort of apex human with like top tier genetics. But I do agree that they've painted the Belters and Earth differently in terms of their immune system, in terms of how they live and stuff like that. So I can see how Holden, who's born on Earth, has a completely different, not completely different, has a slightly different physiology than Miller. And also, in addition to that, right, people were pointing out like this dude's more active and does some of that stuff. So maybe he's just like a slightly hardier than Miller. But I think I agree with I agree with the people who are saying Belters versus Earth is kind of like a big key thing there. That makes sense to me. She started coughing. Uh-oh.
You made it.
Uh-oh. Dude. Okay, so it's not a dream sequence. All right. I don't like that. I don't like that. Also, hopefully this comes through a lot more clear. I figured out, I don't know why, I'm not a developer. The browser I was using was compressing the video, which is a thing. I just don't know why that happened. But that literally the browser I was using was compressing the video. So hopefully the video actually comes in much more clear than it used to. On my end, it's godlike now.
I'm peeing right now. Perks of a vac suit.
Go. I got this.
I'm not going anywhere.
You know, we see.
Okay, so then two different Black Ops teams. Okay, that clears it up.
Prison block.
I just want to see something. I just want to see something. I just want to see something. It's not a big deal. I just want to see. I just want to see. I just want to see. For me, for Ziggy, I just want to see. Okay. I mean, okay, look. It's their extras. They didn't really have a key place in the back. I just wanted to see if they were actually the same extras. But look, people with speaking roles have different rules. You gotta get SAG approved and all that stuff. So it's not that big of a deal. But they're
Might have been infected.
whatever. 3 different people. Who cares?
Maybe some still left alive.
Oh, maybe that guy's a
Could
kid.
have been saved.
Maybe that guy's a kid. Looks a little different. Okay, so this isn't the day after. This is. So that I had to watch that again to figure out exactly what's going on. But Miller's been saying I got to go to the bathroom, and he's been going down to look at the Sematima, maybe doing other stuff. Right? We just see him this one time doing that, but he starts talking over Holden of like, I'm trying to go to the bathroom. Tell me which end, whatever. And I'm like, okay, whatever. No, sorry, I don't want to hear it. I had to read that again and like figure out exactly what's going on there. But he's telling him I got to go to the bathroom, and then he's off doing his investigation or looking at stuff. So presumably this could be, if the Anubis was heading to Eros with this, and Julie Mouse stopped them. You know, Julie did her thing and they got stopped. And then she fled to Eros. It's possible that they were able to draw her blood and then weaponize it the same way this is. Meaning like this could be the equivalent of the viral agent that they used. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Like some Resident Evil type-ish. This VX poison gas.
Don't flee.
So that's kind of cool because that reinforces the impression that I got, which was that Fred Johnson was the one communicating with the Sorry, I forget it. Fred Johnson was the one communicating with the ship with all the people in it. And whether he then chose to attack them or someone above him chose to attack them because he's not able to communicate with them anymore. It almost came across as like he's the hostage negotiator in a way. And then all of a sudden he just ceases communication, which could be that he's like, nah, just get rid of him. Or most likely someone above him said, yeah, don't bother. We're going to take him out. And then that's what caused that shift for him to stop working with them and then start working with the Belters. And that line, I think, kind of paints that as being true. He got infected with their cause.
He believes. Hello.
And there's a shift in the audio where it stops being like compressed, and you don't put like a filter on it to make it sound like it's coming through a TV. When that final line, watch what they do, as soon as she walks outside, which also works for her character. Don't listen to what she just said. Watch what she's doing. In the same way she's condemning Fred Johnson, it's showing like for her character, which is really nice, like storyboarding and framing to get it set up like that.
Hold on, I can't hear you.
Whoa!
Archangel was not on the vehicle.
It's my favorite X-Men. And there's 4 of them, which, let me see, are there 2?
Biomass.
Well, no.
The level of information density.
That looks like a white
required
dude. And the 4 people we
variety of
saw were
outcomes
2
I've
black
seen
dudes
is
and
of
2
a
chicks.
magnitude I can't explain.
So I think these people are different. So yeah. The only way to see what it is evolving into, we have to let it learn, and then it quizzically looked at Adam Jensen before it devoured that guy. So this is some sentient thing.
Into
Aliens, man.
A beat on it.
I go first. Cab's right. Nobody has
Cab's
no
right.
neck.
No neck.
The proto-molecule.
Yeah. I mean, they're having a fight. Is it the girl trying to prove herself? With the exosuit on? Jeez.
His bones are all wrong from growing up in full G. We'll
His
keep him
bones
anyway.
are all wrong.
All right, kid.
That is me.
I don't use sex as a weapon, little ones. I use weapons as weapons.
What does
You'll be
that
landing on
mean?
Phoebe Station.
So, okay, so this isn't set. This isn't. Yeah, right. This isn't set before Phoebe went bad, as if this was the team going to Phoebe. This is present day,
Good business.
and they view Earth as being the ones at fault because they have no way to know about the stealth ship. Okay, got it.
Led into war on anyone's leash.
This dude's smart AF. I mean, the only new development has been that they found the research and the notes from the Anubis. Why wouldn't they have just done this earlier if they had this thing? Like, presumably, if they were able to do this immediately, why wouldn't they have just done this immediately? The only thing that's changed has been they found those notes, which none of them are a chemist. I'm confused where this comes from. I get that you need to have this because they can't be tied to the chair for the rest of the story. I'm just trying to think, why wouldn't you have just done this? If you had access to this, why wouldn't you have just done it immediately? And then nothing's like changed to get to this. Like they didn't say we're almost at the end of our radiation cycle to get it to a level where we can do this. So this is like a little... I'm confused on the timing of this, I guess.
Other way.
And that also goes into... he's doing something on the ship. You have to imagine he's not just staring at Simatimba over and over and over. But the excuse of the bathroom and then him heading in this direction. No, I got to go the other way because whatever. He's doing something on the ship and trying to hide it. I just don't know what it is yet.
Because you're poisoning the air.
There we go. It's like he
I told him to stay.
It's almost like he's it's almost like he's a dog, not in like a subhuman way, but in a when they show his eyes and then they show him just focusing on Miller and then Naomi almost snaps him out. It's like the Hulk, I guess is a better example, right? It's Bruce Banner and then the Hulk. And for some reason he loses control of himself. And Naomi is there to stop him. And the thing with the dog was like once he gets something in his head, I'm just going to do this without like really as an adult being fully aware of the consequence. Like in a way it comes across as he's like a child in a way where he doesn't fully understand everything that he's doing, and the parent is like, "Whoa, what are you doing? You have to stop." I don't really know how to express that idea a little more clean. But it's like he didn't fully mature or grow up, or he has like a Hulk Bruce Banner-y thing to him. When it cuts to his eyes, he's like a completely different person. And then when Naomi finally stops him again, it looks like he's a completely different person at that point.
Okay.
And that line, "I told him to stay down," is like, well, I told him to stay down, and he didn't, so I was gonna kill him. Like that's it, without like fully going through all of that.
Just
But she has a lot of backstory with him, right? When they talk about being outside, not talking to each other, you miss that, don't you? He didn't even know she was OPA back in their history, but she seems to have some more knowledge about how to deal with him, like how Holden says you got to get him under your leash again. I think in one of the episodes, you got to rein him in, something like that.
Come in.
And you see all the lipstick on different parts of the glass to show that she's been drinking for a while.
You all right?
It's kind of nice.
Perfect. Excuse not.
And then, okay, then you have to, right, because you shoot it at different times, whatever. The glass she's holding in the one scene is not the glass she's holding here, because this glass has lipstick around it, right? Again, to show that she's been drinking and has been drinking for a while.
Excuse not to.
But then this one doesn't. Look, it's whatever. You shoot things at different times.
Quit drinking.
And I wouldn't put it past her to have done that to herself. And maybe it's possible what she's saying is, oh, someone found a way to kill me. But I also wouldn't past her. I also wouldn't put it past her to have set up her plane to blow up before she got there to help sell her story as working with Sarah Veer and Mao. And okay, so I think a couple things here I think are really cool. One, the admiral is in agreement with the Martian admiral, and they've presumably never talked to each other, but both of them know what war is like or have heard stories about what war is like, and both of them are working towards the goal of de-escalation. But on the Earth side, this guy is trying to keep them moving forward towards that goal, which I think is nice. Other thing is that other guy, the white guy, looks to her to say, the Admiral and Saravir, I thought his name was Aaron Wright. Maybe it's the first and last name. They're talking and they're making point, counterpoint. And then this other guy, like out of that entire table, looks at her to say, what do you think? And then also in the first or the second episode, she's sitting in front of that guy and he's saying you're 1 or 2 breaths away from being in charge of the entire planet and you don't owe anybody anything. Like, you're not with a clan, you know. So this person who's independent is more powerful than basically everybody else in the room except for those 2 people, which I think is pretty cool. Says a lot about the power dynamic.
It's more like your kid.
Okay. Yeah.
200 pounds.
Amos is different.
Okay. Yeah.
He's needed someone to help him out with the world.
And he picked you.
Look at your boy.
How long you and her?
Oh. Oh, we've never met.
I only saw her that one time.
Oh, we never met.
The UNN Nathan Hale is on a direct course.
And they're gonna get there before the Sirocco. They'll get there about 2 minutes before. Well, 9:46 to 11, like a minute before.
Course to Phoebe
It's
Station.
gonna strap their mountains into fine Martian dust.
Jesus.
On Olympus Mont.
And I like it's been building up her character. I like that she's just intensely staring straight ahead, not really paying attention to the rest of the crew. She just wants to F shit up. She just wants to F shit up. She doesn't care about this. Like, it doesn't faze her. She's ready. She's been wanting to go to war and like start murking people. Kotyar. Oh no. Son of a...
If you'd known it was me, would you have come?
God.
Probably not.
The last time I saw...
Relax for someone who nearly got blown up. Be sure a walk in a park and full of...
I don't have time to waste. I need a spy. Are you in or out?
Dude! Let's go!
Alright, cowgirl.
That's sick!
Resting spot for that.
Bro, you good? Bro, you good? You want a space makeout?
Can you imagine what you...
I got nothing to say except thumbs up. I'm gonna leave that in. That was godlike. I mean, you know, we've seen something be hidden in an asteroid and they found it before, somehow, with Dawes. Let's go, boys! Give me a little second here. I'll just cut this out in editing.
We're rattling play out.
Yeah, and she's painting that guy in a corner because he can't logically argue your way. You can't logically make the argument to have both of those captains be the apex, be the point, the impetus that starts this entire war if Phoebe is just a backwater science station where nothing goes on there. And she's kind of like verbally trapping him where in order to back up his plan to fight there and to get first and to not back off, he'd have to divulge that there's something worth being there first for. So she's like turning the room against Aaron Wright, which is pretty nice. And she's still agreeing with him. It was pretty smart. She's agreeing with him initially, and she's still agreeing with him now. She's just not agreeing with him that they need to fight over it. So, like, it's just good. It's just good. He can't really get mad at her. He can get mad at her because he didn't get his way and fight. But he can't logically get mad at her for the reasonings that she gave at the table. I just like it. That's the kind of stuff that I really like. I've never met him.
Exceptional man.
I have no idea who he is.
You never went to the academy.
Yeah. Let's go. And if you look at everybody in the room, she's looking at him and he's upset about it. This is good. This is pretty good.
Their missiles were not...
Christian's looking at Aaron Wright, and Aaron Wright's like, son of a bitch.
Work. No, without work. Hey, listen. So I'm thinking to myself, I said to myself, Self. We ought to just do that, right?
Yeah, it's me and Star Helix. We can't...
They're both kind of right. Dude! Let's go! This is godlike. This is what I like. Chrisjen, badass. Amos, still a badass. They didn't have dinner with the Belters. They left them locked down in the hold. What are you gonna do? You don't have enough food for everybody. It's fine. Dude, I like that. Chrisjen is nuts, bro. All the back and forth in the scheming, they introduced a new spy. At some point, those Belters have to do something on board the ship. Miller ejected Semitima, which kind of signifies him moving on. And then also in the next scene with Miller and the crew, he tries to warm up to them and get integrated with him. So Naomi helped, but also, hey, maybe we're even, or I still owe you one, pushes him off, and he moves on from that. But maybe that line, I still owe you one, maybe implies, hey, in the back of my head, I still gotta make sure that Amos pays for your death, or some, the people who did this pays, or something like that. I just liked it. It's very dense. Yeah, that's a great word. It's very dense. I just congratulated myself for a great word. It's very dense, and I like it. There's a lot of layers that's going on. This is really good, intricate writing that stays true to characters and their motivations and helps explore them and develop them in realistic ways, and introduces new characters and have already painted them with some semblance of backstory and motivation and character. You know how the Gunny is going to act. You know that she's trigger happy. She wants to fight. She wants to prove herself. Yeah, dude. The only thing that I'm still confused about is we still haven't really seen anything about Fred Johnson. So the Black Ops team from that ship, is that still like we're just hitting pause on that until we finally go back to Fred Johnson? Or what happened to the Black Ops team that was heading to Tycho? Did they skip Tycho and go to Eros and we just ignore that? And then the other thing is the timing. I get why, for reasons of the story, right? Again, you can't have the two characters tethered to the chair for the remainder. But if they had access to that thing, why wouldn't you just do that immediately? And there's no character line about we had to develop this, or because we found research in the Anubis, we were able to take a sample from that and come up with a vaccine to deal with the radiation. Or at the start, it shows them being irradiated, and then one of Miller and Holden says the patch will be developed shortly, whatever. It came out of nowhere. I understand why it's there, but it felt like it came out of nowhere with no explanation as to where it came from and how it got made. And if they didn't rely on the stuff that they just picked up from the Anubis as the preceding event, why wouldn't they have just done that immediately? You don't do that immediately for continuity because they got radiated. You show them being irradiated, then you can change it. But it's still actually, as a real person, if they had it just lying there, the patch to just jab in there, you would have done that right after they left Eros, when it's painted as, a couple days later or a week later or something like that. That's kind of it. But geez, man, that writing with Chrisjen, let's go, dude. I'm so excited for Chrisjen to just murk people in there. Dude, I'm excited. I like it. It's really good. Yeah, it's really good. I got nothing more to say. It's really good. I'm going to stop talking so I can get to the next episode. All right, guys. I'm done. Bye.